Doreen, I'm an occupational therapist, but today I'm going to talk generally about therapy because in this neurodivergent journey, you're not going to go through only occupational therapy. As you heard, there is ABA, there is occupational therapy. Which other form of therapy do you know? Speech therapy. Sorry? Sensory integration therapy. Art therapy. Music therapy. Physiotherapy. Hydrotherapy. Any other therapy? Chemotherapy is not part of us, sorry. So, and any other form of therapy that deals with neurodivergent. Now, you've gone to the hospital, and before I continue, on behalf of the team at the hospital, that you are told, I hope you are very rich, and anyone else mwenye alipewa a weird feedback, forgive us. Sometimes ukienda pale hospitali, it's not everyone knows everything about a doctor akona speciality yake, physiotherapist akona speciality yake, OT akona speciality yake, and everything. So probably this doctor who said, I hope you are rich enough, he just hears therapies are very expensive. So maybe from his heart alikuwa anapeana ile information yenye anajua. So on behalf of everyone at the hospital, we are really sorry for the information that you get. Yenye saa zingine it's hurting. Sometimes you don't mean to. Ni hapo penye knowledge ya that particular area ndio imefika. So you've been given the diagnosis. Na umeambiwa now it's time to go for therapy. Some of them will tell you what kind of therapy to begin with. Others won't even guide you. Utaambiwa tu enda OT. Ama ingia some places unatumwa pia psychiatric department. From the psychiatric department, that's when now they'll direct you to wherever you will go. Like we said, it's depending with whatever that person knows at that point and what they think that you're going to get help. So whatever any kind of therapy that you're sent to, whether it is physical, because depending on where your child is at, some of the doctors will send you from physiotherapy. That is kama mtoto wako amechelewa kuketi, kusimama, kutembea, and other things. Others will send you direct to the OT and speech therapy direct. Any form of therapy utatumwa. We are all working together to make sure that your child is independent. That is the end goal. Ama nitasema it's the long-term end goal of these therapies that we do. All of them is to make sure the child is independent. And when I use the word independent, I don't mean independence in ADLs, toileting, and they are part of, but is independence in terms of, let's say someone like Jane here. She wakes up in the morning, takes a bath, does every other activity that a human being does, goes to work, comes back, cooks, eats, sleep. That is the independence I'm talking about. So it will include the work. It will include even the leisure activities, because they say work with no play makes Jane a dull girl. So if we focus on they can go to school, they can feed themselves, they can dress, what about this other part of life? You as a person, you wake up, unasikia leo, I need to go get a cup of coffee. So what about that child of yours? What is that leisure activity, or that ile interest yake ni gani? Do you take time to see whatever they love to do, apart from the normal now schooling routine and being at home and being a good boy or a good girl? There is that aspect of life also that is needed. So any form of therapy that you're going to receive must be geared towards making that child independent. Paka hapo tumeelewana. Now, when you come to do this therapy, I will be a little bit on more of neurodivergent autistic kids. We know they love structure, right? They are used today, they get in here sambili, they do 1, 2, 3 things. When it gets to 10, they go out. There is a structure and routine that they follow. The day you change that, what happens? I want to get at least an experience from you parents. What happens when you change their routines? Somehow the world turns upside down. Why? Because they are used to. This is it. And once you establish a routine, hamtakuwa na shida, by the way. Kabisa, kabisa, kabisa. Sometimes you start wondering, they know Saturday imefika. There is how they calculate in their head, and they know nikienda church, the following day is school day. Second day, third day, fourth day, fifth day, the sixth is Saturday. Now, you have therapy sessions scheduled for whichever day. Nitaanza na kusema kwanza, consistency is the key when dealing with these children. Before anything else, because I cannot have like today, we have a session on Monday, then tukae, we have another session on Tuesday. It's not like we are having like 3 sessions. I'm assuming we are doing 1 session in a week. And then after 2 weeks, I decide, I think Doreen is not achieving what I want. You get another therapist. Do not get me wrong. It is okay to get another therapist if you feel what you want is not being delivered. But there is a period you need to wait. Because at the end of the day, we are dealing with the brain. Any activity, anything that we are said we are doing to look at the independence ya huyu mtoto na nini, it's the brain we are working with. And there is no specific switch that we are going to switch and say now, is it bathing we are training to switch your nini ya bathing to say in 2 days we will be done. It is not that easy. It's a process. So give it at least 1 or 2 months. See whether you're seeing the slightest of the changes. Why? For you to say, for example, to bathe. You don't wake up and go stand at the shower and the water. There are steps that comes in. So these small steps like going, opening the bathroom door, kufungulia shower, using the soap and everything, that's what constitutes bathing. So whatever therapy you're doing should be step by step, building towards the end goal, which is the independence in bathing. So do not look at, mimi nili-engage this therapist na huyu mtoto haogi sahi. No. Look at it. Can this child open the door independently? Hakuwa anafungua. Anaweza fungua. Anaweza fungulia maji. Anajua use ya sabuni. Anajua kitu. Anaweza recognize ile ka kitu ya kubathe. Can they hold that thing and try and do something with themselves? That tells you now you are headed to the right directions. Now, back to now whatever I was talking about, consistency. Consistency with the therapist and consistency with now the therapy sessions themselves. When you come and change, today you've given them 1 person, 2 weeks down the line, no. We go to the other week, the 3rd week, you have them for around 1 month, still we are not achieving whatever I wanted, so no. What happens to the brain of this child? And remember, majority of them, they will not come and ask you, Mommy, ni nini naendelea? Everything they're absorbing in their brain, it's not like they don't understand, by the way. They understand everything that happens around them completely, but they cannot come and ask questions. So, ni kama vile mulikuwa mnaambiwa bottling up emotions. They have emotions pia. Probably alikuwa amesha develop attachment with the first therapist or the second therapist or whatever. And you've withdrawn. They cannot come and ask you to get explanations. And we assume, since they don't talk, they don't understand. So we don't tell them, by the way, I did 1, 2, 3 because of 5, 6. No. Nimetoa Jane, nimemletea Dr. Lea. Dr. Lea siku 2, nimemletea another person. So this child gets confused. At the end of the day, you will not achieve, you'll be stuck in the same place for a very long time. Now, see, because the therapists you're getting are not qualified, it's because that aspect of consistency is not there. So before you can sit down and say, we are moving or we are not moving, at least give it, let's say, for example, around 1 or 2 months. And number 2, we said they are used to routines and everything. Once they have established, tunafanyanga sessions on Tuesdays, this time, you will realize, you think they don't know ile time, as in they don't know Tuesday ni lini. Because again, we said, as long as they are not conversing, we assume hawaelewi. But you realize when that Tuesday comes, the same time, huyu mtoto ataanza get ready for the session. That tells you this consistency inamsaidia kuorganize his brain. And as this child is organizing their brain, it means whatever is happening in the session is also getting here. Whether it is sensory integration therapy, whether it is music therapy, art therapy, anything else, we interact with our hands, our senses and everything, but at the end of the day, ni wapi? In our mind. So make sure whatever you do, your child is getting whatever they are getting consistently. Now, consistency doesn't mean it has to be every day, because like we said, pesa issues, sometimes it's not practical to have to pay for sessions like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, mpaka Sunday. And even if you can afford, which is very okay, I will come to your house for 1 hour. Sawa sawa. This child is at home with you for 23 more hours. So whatever happens from that hour that I leave to the 24th hour matters a lot. We can either do or undo everything. If you're given the don'ts, depending with the form of therapy, depending with whoever is with you, they will tell you, please do this, please don't do this, please, this is what happens, this is the home program I'm leaving you, make sure you follow it. That's where the consistency comes in. I have done 1, 2, 3, ukibaki, continue with it. Not necessarily exactly the way I was doing, because I might come to your house, I have a therapy ball, work with the therapy ball, but I cannot entrust your nanny with the therapy ball because siko sure about the safety of this child. But nitakuambia, the nanny should walk outside, jump with the child outside, or go up and down the stairs. I have the reasons as to why I'm telling you this. Make sure that is followed when you are there or when you are not there. That is now where the consistency comes in. When you are consistent, it creates some form of predictability. So some of these tantrums that tunakuanga nazo, nimewambia, this child cannot come and ask you questions, right? If they cannot ask you questions, but they know this is the program, ile anxiety anakuanga na, I don't know what happens next, I don't know what is going to happen to me next, huwa inaenda chini, and in a way, we reduce those instances of tantrums as a result of anxiety.